Greetings. It's 6:17 p.m. on a Monday evening, the 8th of March in Lviv, Ukraine. I'm joined today by Sergei and Orest, a couple of our colleagues that Andy Hall and I have had the pleasure of working with for the past year or so. And they really wanted to have a forum, an opportunity to express to all of us why they are still working, literally working as IT professionals in Lviv during the state of a war. And what I'd like to do is give them the chance to help us understand what that is like insofar as as a professional experience, and then obviously from the perspective of what it is to be a citizen in Ukraine at this point in time. But with that, what I'd like to do is give Sergei and Orest an opportunity to introduce themselves, and then give Andy the opportunity to ask some follow-up questions. Gentlemen.
Yeah, thank you, Chip. Maybe I can start?
Please.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Yeah, when all of this started, so I was working as a software engineer, and in the same time I started to help a lot to our community. I was preparing for a new React course that I conduct sometimes in one online academy. Also, I was preparing to participate in the biggest React conference in our country, and also I helped to ADHD my way project, and it was a pleasure to meet you, Andy and Chip, in that project. Yeah, and everything was very, very, very nice in my life. I was living in Kiev. I bought a new apartment, I did renovation, and I just was waiting when this COVID era is finished and I can travel easily and maybe to visit you in the USA. Yeah.
Orest,
yeah,
please.
Yeah, so my name is Orest Furhala. I'm head of alliances and partnerships at NIX. NIX is a Ukrainian software development company with almost 2,000 people. And before war, I was managing our relations with AWS, Microsoft, Google Cloud, and we were achieving new competencies, new heights, preparing to conquer the IT world with our services even more, prepare for new designations. And at personal level, we also moved recently to a new apartment, and the life was really great until the morning when we woke up. Our daughter woke us up because she heard some strange voice she never heard before, and that was the airstrike alarm, and that's how the war started for us.
Oh, how are you two holding up right now?
Orest? Let's change.
Now much better, because my family is already in Poland. I relocated them there in a safe place and came back to Lviv. So I feel much more secure now here and can contribute to different type of activities. And first of all, to my work, because at the current situation, IT sector is definitely the sector that can keep on working. And I see it as our main task to keeping delivering on our promises to our customers, to keep the economy running by paying our taxes and by volunteering, because really many of people of Ukrainian IT community, they donate huge portions of their salary to army, to charity activities, and almost everything of their spare time they dedicate to volunteering. So I feel now really productive and feel the responsibility of being Ukrainian citizen in times of war and doing my best to fight our enemy.
One of the things that I'd really like to know here, guys, is maybe Sergei, if you could share with us a little bit, like, what's it actually like working within a war? And then, Orest, I'd like to get your view on that as well.
Yeah, maybe I can share a little bit because, I would like to mention that a very important moment was for us to be sure that our family is safe. Yeah. The same for me when this war is started. Actually, I could continue to work because we had airstrikes in Kiev only in the mornings. So every morning we had some airstrikes into airports and around them. Yeah, and but we were afraid for our families. So in a few days, I decided to move to the west of our country to move my family, and I was ready to move back to Kiev, but I was sad that we cannot. And also we had this problem that we had a lot of volunteers to our army. So if you don't have military experience, they don't need you. Yeah. And that's why first days, it was very hard to work. We only thought a lot about the war, about what to do, because we had to understand how many days or weeks or months it will take and what to do. And when we moved to a safer place, it was okay to come back to our work, to return. And it's still not easy, because we always think what to do next. But we understand that we need to do this. And also psychologists, they say that people in such stress during the war, people should do something that they did before, just usual things, because then our body, our brain understands that everything is fine. So if you are doing what you did before day after day, then you are safe, you are fine, and you are well. So I'm fine until I start to read the news. Or for example, some people call from those cities that are occupied.
So maybe, Orest, one question for you is that, so you said that you got your family safely secured from the country. Why didn't all professional, IT professionals leave Ukraine? I'd like to get your insight on that.
First of all men between 18 years and 60 years, they still are required to go to the army if needed. So all the men should stay within the country. And we have a big number of IT professionals who are men. So if you take our company, it's like 70 to 30% ratio men to women. So most of the men stay. There are exceptions, but they're really small. That's the first part. And the second part, there is a big group of people who don't want to leave the country, and they just want to stay here and help with all means possible, with things they are best at, to support the army, to support the people who are displaced from their homes, who need support in establishing their new life in other cities and other parts of Ukraine.
So thanks for covering that. I'm just curious then, so I got the sense from both of you, you're still working on customer projects. Why are you doing that?
Yeah, it's a good question. As far as I know, such questions are already on Reddit as well. Yeah, people are wondering, how Ukrainians can continue to work. As I said, it's because we understand that we should do this. We even have some seminars with psychologists. They help us, to calm down. And we all understand that we need to care about ourselves first, about our mental care. So we work on this, and we should continue to work because our enemy, this enemy wants that we feel bad, that we lose our houses, that we lose our job, so we don't have financial support. Finances to support our government and country. And then what we should do we need to do the best what we can to help our country and to fight back.
Thanks for covering that, Sergei.
I'm
curious.
Oh,
Sorry,
go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, so one other question I'd really love to understand here, guys, is, so I understand, right? Both you, right? You want to focus on helping your customers and whatnot, but I'm really curious, like from IT professional standpoint, in other individuals in the company, they're volunteering towards a war effort. What do IT professionals do, right? How do they actually help?
Yeah, I can say what I'm doing right now, and Orest, you can share more. Yeah, for example, we have some groups where we have some tasks from organizers, and they ask us what we can do. So sometimes we help with blocking Russian propaganda or sharing real news from Ukraine to Russian people. Also, we have some projects that are right now, we develop a lot of projects to help people. We have a lot of open source or volunteer projects that help refugees to find a place to live. We have some projects where we combine people that need help and with people that can provide help. We create a lot of chat bots. We help organizing some stuff, again, to help refugees, even in our country or abroad, and to help to find some stuff, because there are some people that want to fight with our enemy and they need support. They ask, for example, we need money or we need something that we can buy and organize. For example, one of my colleagues, he just received this tool from Mask for Internet. I forgot how it's called. Yeah,
Starlink.
For Starlink. He was one of the first who ordered it, and he just received this Starlink module. And he said in our chat, guys, who need this in Ukraine, I can give this and pay for internet. Maybe volunteers need. It's just one of examples.
So thinking about that, and you're talking specifically about Musk's Starlink internet connectivity for all of Ukraine. I mean, it's still astonishing to us when we start thinking about the fact that, okay, you want to still engage in your day-to-day activities as an IT professional. You still have electricity, you have internet connectivity, you really have the freedom of press, the freedom to help offset the propaganda engine of Russia. So when you think about all of these different obstacles that you have to wrestle with to try to add value to your customers, be concerned about your family, stuff coming out of the sky, falling on you, what's your biggest challenge?
Orest?
Great question. Biggest challenge, I would say at this stage, after we have 11 days of war, it's always the question people ask themselves, am I doing enough? Am I doing all what I can to support my country, my army? So the biggest challenge is, to keep the spirit and the motivation and keeping yourself running and doing your work, first of all, not rushing into too many volunteering activities. But everybody is trying to do something. The biggest challenge is to focus on what you are best at and keeping on doing that. That's the challenge, I think. And to understand you, to provide you a bit more understanding of what I mean by that, I would say that your previous question was, what are the IT professionals doing? So besides the work, which I think for many people is a way to move away from the news feed to constantly checking news feeds, move away from that. You can do it by coding. And besides doing that, IT professionals, they do 3 types of contributions as I see it. So it is a professional contribution, as Sergi described, doing some coding. I know there is a group of IT professionals detecting Russian possessions, Russian mansions, yachts all over the globe. Then the second group is the financial contribution. So it's giving back a portion of what you earn to the army, to the community. And the third group is volunteering in different types of activities. So once again, the question is not too many activities where you will be not so efficient, but rather to focus on your main part. That's what I would say.
Sergey, what are your thoughts in terms of the biggest challenge you face?
Yeah, I agree with Orest that calming down our stress, and to fight with ourselves is the biggest challenge, of course. But as well, we have another challenge is with internet connection, of course, because right now we are talking about us who now live in safer place. But I had such incredible stories as first days our people, for example, girls, women, they worked even in the shelters, with notebooks, and we have a lot of photos. I can share our IT resource though. They shared, they created a page where IT guys shared some pictures of what IT is doing and all of that. So there are some nice pictures. One of them is mine as well. I shared one. And and I have one story. For example, one of my relatives, he lives now in occupied territory. And a few days ago, he said to me that he was worrying about internet connection only, because he understood that connection was worse and worse. And he was worried to lose his job, because especially for them, having IT job and having this income, maybe it's the last opportunity, the only one opportunity to have some money to live, even under occupation, maybe, And I said, sorry, man, but please don't do this. Please don't leave. He wanted to leave that area, but I asked him to not to do this because he has 2 children, and we had a lot of stories already that Russians, they killed civilian people that who tried to leave that area by cars. And sad news are that last 2 days that region doesn't have any connection now. Russians they block any mobile connection, internet connection, they block everything, and they started to run their propaganda there and started to work with people and to make their army places, stations and all that.
I have one more question, and it's going to lead most likely into a longer discussion, but I'm thinking, God forbid, Putin is successful. He forces Zelensky to submit, and he sends in his occupying force. You guys obviously have business continuity plans to keep your companies going, even in the case of a situation such as this. I mean, here in the West, I can't imagine having a business continuity. And on the back page, there's, well, in case of a foreign invasion by an authoritarian dictatorship who wants to obviously take your entire country and economy over. here's what to do. Do you have that type of plan in place of, God forbid, if this was to happen, what are you going to do?
Yeah, I
Orest,
think
did you-
I will be very short, guys,
Yeah.
because I know that Orest now works in much bigger company where I used to work before with Orest together, and they had more opportunities and more plans. But I will be very concise about my company. We have, we have some plans. We prepared for this war as well. We wanted to relocate people to save a place to live, because we also have office here, and also we have some people that help to move out of the Ukraine if people want. And of course we have some plans, but I'm sure they will not invite all Ukraine for sure. They even will not be able to invite Kiev, because it stands very strong. Orest?
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Sergei. So first of all, it's not going to happen. Short answer to the question. Yeah, if it happens, we will all fight back. So I really doubt there is enough power, manpower, right motivated manpower to keep Ukrainians, the whole territory of Ukraine, the whole 47 million of Ukrainians occupied. I cannot imagine that, and I'm a firm believer it's not going to happen. In terms of business and business continuity planning, of course, you need to have the scenarios. And what I can state confidently, we have our BCP in plan and it's working. So we deliver more than 80% of our promises to the customers. We relocated almost all people from the risk areas to western part of Ukraine to Poland, and there is potential of relocating more people to Poland if it's necessary. But as we see it, Lviv is a good place to be, to work, and BCP is working.
Yeah, by the way, about the reasons why we continue. Yeah, I think that we IT community was working many years, to have this place, to gain this respect of IT community in the world. Yeah. And right now we just cannot just give up and say, okay, it was in vain and all of that. With any possible ways, that can happen in the future, I'm sure Ukrainian IT will survive. The same as Ukrainians, and Ukrainian IT maybe temporarily in other countries, but still there will be Ukrainian IT.
You gentlemen are such an inspiration. Truly an inspiration for all democracies throughout the world. I mean, you are absolutely at ground zero of what it means to live in a democratically free society and have to fight for it. So, I mean, we're all behind you. We're all thinking of you all the time. And, there's obviously numerous ways that the West can help and contribute. I mean, certainly appreciate everything you've said throughout the course of this discussion. I think in my final thoughts, as far as what you just mentioned, Sergei, I can't underscore this enough. The level of respect that the West had for the IT community in Ukraine, and it still is, thanks to the kind of fortitude and the inability to give up by you gentlemen and your colleagues. Ukraine is really regarded as a serious player in the IT industry, and everybody respects the kind of quality of work that comes out of your country and the level of professionalism and the passion you have for your craft, for your art. It's truly amazing. And I've seen it firsthand, and my colleagues have seen it firsthand. And we just appreciate everything that you stand for. And I really appreciate the opportunity to spend this time with you. Any final thoughts that you'd like to share?
Yeah, I'm sure that everything will be fine. And in any case, it depends only when it happened.
Mhm.
But when this is over, I'm sure our IT will even increase our power, because we already understand and we have a lot of voices that people all over the world, they are ready to help us, yeah, to reconstruct our country.
Mhm.
And I think not only me, but I can say for me, I had a lot of thoughts, and I already have some plans what I can to do after war is finished. For example, I would like maybe to organize a free IT school to educate people for JS and React, because I have some people, they can organize this group, yeah, and school, free school with maybe some financial support from the West.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and maybe I will even open my own company here. I didn't want before. I didn't want before because I didn't like to work with Ukrainian government, but I think things will change dramatically.
Terrific. Orest, any final thoughts from you, sir?
Chip, sir, thanks a lot for having this possibility, for providing this possibility to tell more about Ukraine, our current situation, and to spread the word, because it's also a power that we have by spreading the word, by keeping people informed, well informed. We help our politicians, we help our diplomats, and yeah. Everybody who listens, who will be listening to this, I really kindly ask you to support Ukraine. So you already did it, and we feel this great support. We have the Russians blocked from SWIFT. We have other major sanctions and possible embargo for Russia, but we should keep the momentum. It's not over yet. So we need your support still. It's not yet the end, and we must push it further together to be able further to have our nice conversations and think about the future and do some cool stuff and yeah, to make tech contribute to the whole world development as we do it with ADHD My Way, and I hope we will do with other projects. Thanks a lot.
Thank you,
Yeah.
gentlemen.
I
Be
hope we
safe.
finish it soon. Yeah.
Be safe.
Yeah.
And the best to you
Thank
and your
you.
families. Thank you.
Thanks
Thank
a lot,
you.
Chip. To you
Bye.
too.